What's good, superstars? Back with another VeVe video. You got superstar Joe. You got superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good.
Rested after a day off, but couldn't let you do the VeVe talk without me. Had to get in and join in on myself. Guys, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post, whenever we go live. That's going to let you know. Whenever we're talking VeVe, you're going to get the notification. You can jump in there, be first in the comments. Also, don't forget, you can become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button underneath the video, get access to our spreadsheets. All the giveaways. At the end of the month, we have a giveaway for Star in the Universe that's exclusive for VIP members, so join that. Also, you can follow us on X, follow us on Instagram, but the Discord at the bottom in the description. Get in the Discord because you're going to learn so much in there. We learn so much every single day. We're talking to people from all different projects, all different fans of all different IP, and we get a real good sentiment of what people want, what people are enjoying, and why. Like, we build our thoughts around this type of stuff by talking to you guys in the Discord. I mean, there was someone in there who we just talked to the other day. They're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're talking to us." Man, like, that is like commonplace on the Discord. Like, you want to chat with us? Come in there. We're responding like crazy. It's a lot of fun. So definitely join the Discord. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, the Discord is, we call it the mall of Discords at this point. Any project you want, come in there, join. Really, really great community. Our Discord community is a really, really fantastic community. I definitely recommend everybody join, get involved in the conversation. We're like the fastest growing nation in the world, Superstar Nation.
It's crazy.
Right? We're over
crazy
like
how many new faces.
Members.
Yeah. How many new faces we're seeing in there from all different projects. Like, it's crazy because they come from different projects and they all meet each other and they're talking about different projects that they're not even in. Yeah. And it's amazing to see the web building. Maybe we're making the metaverse, Rob. Maybe we're making the metaverse in our Discord.
Maybe.
So anyway, let's get to a little bit of Twitter news. We're going to kind of fly through it here. But today, Crypto is dropping a pretty big drop. First ever blister box that they're doing where you can buy exactly what you want. It was the Sorcerer Mickey. We ended up getting ours. There it is. It's amazing. We've seen the unboxing. It's incredible. The book floats. It's crazy. And just really, really love what Cryptoids is doing there, testing out a new different drop mechanic. And a lot of people went pretty hard. I mean, Mission bought a max mint. He got some pretty cool mint numbers in there. And yeah, it's just incredible. Like the amount of love that Cryptoids was getting today from the fam. So Rob, what did you think about today's drop?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it. We bought it right at opening, 3,000 editions. Very different format for them where you don't have to do the blind box. You can actually buy the blister pack straight up. So people actually know what they're getting at the time of purchasing. And I think that Cryptoids in the future can do a good job, maybe mix and matching some drops blind box, some drops blister packs direct. And I mean, if you're buying a pretty good character for play, when eventually there's gamification, it would also help people get that character that they might need in order to do certain things within the games, or maybe they could get one they know they're buying, an 8 out of 12 statometer character, so they want that for their game. So, I mean, I was happy with it. Very iconic character, always down for Disney IP, Star Wars IP, biggest IP in the world. Amazing item with that one too, with the book floating in the air. So another success for Cryptoids.
Yep, exactly. Also, Flickplay, they're hyping up their Bratz drop. Bratz is coming to Flickplay. Should be around the corner. It's coming soon. And also the biggest toy company on TikTok, if you didn't know about that, Bratz. So, I mean, imagine having a social feed, which Flickplay is for Web3, and having that type of IP involved. So really excited to see what happens when the Bratz do come to Flickplay. Really excited for what they're building over there as well.
It's going to be interesting for sure. We're definitely going to be ramping up our coverage of this as they get closer to the drop date.
Yeah. Big shout out to Sal Sakesh, one of the gold holders of the fanny packs. He ended up getting his physical fanny pack in the mail. You can see it there. Incredible. I still don't have one. I don't think I'm ever going to get one. I mean, this is super duper exclusive. Only those who had the gold fanny packs plus one lucky person from the black and white background was able to secure the fanny pack, and it looks great. I mean, look at the quality there.
All right, this is the sample one that we ordered. Okay, so other than this, the only ones in existence are the ones that we shipped out. Now, we should say they will never be sold. These will be exclusive to this NFT drop, but we may order one more for Joe. Okay, we'll just put that out there. So just assume we get the final number. Just assume there might be a +1.
I mean, I started this whole fanny pack thing, right? So getting caught in my picture with pudding cheeks in Orlando, I mean, I think it's only right, but we'll have to get that done. And if you want to buy any cryptos, if you're going to buy Sorcerer Mickey, you can use our link. That link works for Sorcerer Mickey. Let us know in Discord. Get entered into giveaways just for using the link. Fantastic. So, Rob, we're going to jump right into it because I don't think, like, we've been seeing a lot of talk about this Disney Metaverse, and there's been speculation from the VeVe fan that VeVe will be the gift shop. There'll be something to do with the Disneyverse, but people aren't quite sure how this is going to integrate. And we just did a little bit of digging. We found a couple pretty interesting things that we feel like you guys might want to see, especially if you're a VeVe fan. So first thing I want to show you guys is this tweet here from Tim Sweeney. If you don't know, Tim Sweeney is CEO of Epic Games, Fortnite, all that good jazz. And look at this tweet, really interesting. What we're building will be open and interoperable with any companies and tech that implement the same future standards. Groups like the Metaverse Standards Forum are hard at work on some parts of this already. So calls out a standards forum, Metaverse Standards Forum. If we pull over the Metaverse Standards Forum, you can look it up, Google it. It'll bring you to the website. But it's incredible the number of names that are on this list of people.
There's a lot.
Who are principal members. I mean, they even have to have a glossary of letters to be able to go through to see if you can find your company on here.
A to Z.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we noticed is if you go down to the participant members, you will find, highlighted right there, you have Cavernous Inc., which we also know is producing the Veveverse. So it's looking like the Veveverse will be built in the same standardized format as the general Metaverse that people are trying to adapt to. I mean, like, you got the web 2 where you had the internet, and then people made different web pages that were compatible. Looking like Cavernous is going to be in line with whatever Metaverse that Tim Sweeney, Disney are trying to build. Rob, what do you think?
So we already know that the Disneyverse, they intend this to be an interoperable universe. They want to make this a place where interoperability is possible. That means that you can own 3D digital assets in your collection, maybe not necessarily, just through an NFT. It could be just having that digital file. And they want to make it so that as long as that 3D asset is built maybe in Unity or an Unreal and it has that capability, maybe it has, let's say, the skeleton for that kind of walking around, they want to be able to allow anybody to import their stuff into the Disneyverse. We don't know for sure if it's going to be gated. We don't know a lot about it. But what this basically confirms is that Tim Sweeney said, we're pretty much following the Metaverse standards, that he specifically used Metaverse Standards Forums, and Cavernous name is there. So I think this is confirmation at this point that Cavernous will in fact be capable of importing their assets into the Disneyverse. And of course, VeVe is building a Veveverse that is compatible with Cavernous. So you would assume, therefore, that 3D assets on VeVe should be convertible and interoperable into the Disneyverse into the future. I think that might be the closest way we can confirm this. I mean, it's until we get more information, it's hard to know for sure. But from what we could tell, it looks like it's going to be interoperable. However, we got to extend that thought. What is the Metaverse Standards Forum? They are basically trying to create the internet, right? There's a bunch of internet standards. If you want to create a website or whatever, like it's one standard that everybody follows, which makes everything work. That's exactly what the Metaverse Standards is trying to do. They're trying to create one standard so all metaverses will work in an interoperable way, just like websites. And I think eventually every single company in the space will adopt that. So whether you're at IKEA or Samsung or anything that there's the 3D asset you might be able to buy in the future, it will be interoperable because everybody, like the internet in the world, will just adopt this one standard so everything works properly. Now, with VeVe specifically, this is great news because you know that right now you have a 3D asset that is gated through their app with a limited license that you can see in AR. So maybe in the Disneyverse, you're going to be able to project these things in AR or in that metaverse world. But we don't really know yet any additional utility that will actually make it stand out. And we've done videos on this before, Joe. I don't know if you want to pull up the Iron Man, because we're going to be in like the open sea of just digital assets here.
Yeah, and shout out Dr. Profit for posting this because we thought this was really cool. The quality on this build here, from wherever you got this asset, he's looking at it in his Vision Pro, I believe, and you're able to move it around and do what you want with it. But obviously, this doesn't seem like it's an NFT. Doesn't seem like it's blockchain. I think that the big deal here, like you mentioned, is VeVe is going to have a metaverse that should be compatible with the standards that are required. We don't know if that means that VeVe's will be you go to VeVe and then you like teleport into the next place. Like if it's just going to be like that type of thing, you click a button a menu pops up and then you switch into a different metaverse. But because you're in the same standard, it kind of feels the same no matter where you are. So that might be what's happening. But again, like just like a website, they track traffic. They see like they're putting out ads trying to get engagement. They're going to put those things and they're going to be pushing on websites that are high traffic. So for example, YouTube, a lot of people watch YouTube. A lot of people go to YouTube to get their content, their fill. And that's where a lot of advertisements and a lot of money is spent. And that's because YouTube is bringing in an audience by providing a service of utility of you can go there, look up a recipe, you can go do a how-to video, right? So there's all these things that YouTube provides to the space that makes it somewhere that people want to be. Then you have other websites that are shopping, Amazon. You can go there, you can buy whatever you want. You can go to Discord, you can go on Superstar Money server, you can talk to all your friends. Like the internet, that's how it works, right? You find utility in all of these different ways. And it's going to be the same thing when it comes to the metaverse. If there's going to be a metaverse that you can go into and you can jump in a DeLorean and you can drive around and you can be in Back to the Future and you click a button and it moves you around. Like if that is the level of detail that Cavernous and VeVe go to, that's going to be somewhere that people want to be and want to experience. But if it's just going to be a DeLorean sitting on a shelf in my metaverse home space that, I mean, it is whatever I make it into, not too sure if that's going to be enough. We've talked about this ad nauseum. A lot of people don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, this here in itself is proof. If this Iron Man is not on blockchain, does that matter? Does that matter if you can interact with it and you can do the same things? Now, what if there's another one that's not on blockchain that shoots lasers and you walk around with it and you can pretend you're in it? And then we've seen Disney's Apple Vision Pro advertisement where they're doing the little Marvel piece and then that little wristband pops onto the guy's hand. Like these are interactive experiences that are going to want to bring people into those metaverses. So I think compatibility is one thing. It gives you the opportunity to get and play with the big boys. Now you have to bring and deliver the utility and make it somewhere that people want to be in order to thrive and make it something that the masses want to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect example. It's a static Iron Man. Like, if you like, you could get very high quality collectibles. Now like there's always a discussion about FA, about officially licensed and all these things, but we don't really know how that's going to transition in the future and how that's going to end up being in terms of value. I think one thing I will say is that we don't know if the Disneyverse is going to be picky with interoperability. Is it going to be kind of like a gated world where you need to get an approval? So like, let's just say, for example, Veveverse exists on Cavernous. Does VeVe have to go to Disney and be like, look, we're already partnered with you with all this stuff. Are you going to give us a gated world that we could get into there? So when someone goes on there for a completely different reason, they're just in that Disneyverse for a completely different reason. They're able to find the Veveverse, like you said, as an aggregator, right? It's basically like an aggregator that brings the volume in. Are they able to find the Veveverse, and Veveverse is well positioned to get a spot through that gate because they're already partnered? Like I can envision something like that being a unique way for them to stand out in the crowd of 3D assets. But again, we don't know that for sure. It may very well just be this open, interoperable world where you can bring your 3D assets. They're going to have their specific spots that they're going to build. And then third-party applications may not really have the opportunity other than allowing you just to connect your 3D avatar or your 3D asset to just come in, but not necessarily have any kind of unique shopping abilities, like walking through the Veveverse and just like buying stuff. I think people are thinking almost like it's going to be a world in the Disneyverse that Disney's going to promote. And I don't really see that happening. I think it's going to be Disney promoting their own stuff, but they're going to allow some third-party apps, or maybe all third-party apps, or maybe even you as an individual with just a 3D file to bring this stuff in and participate in some way. It might just be for aesthetics, decorating, let's say, your home space. But we don't really know for sure. But I think, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, I just wanted to get onto that point where you say it might just be for decorating your home space. That's not enough. And I know that a lot of you think that is enough, but it's not enough. And I'm going to hammer this point home one more time. Shout out to Living Aloha, because he's done some great videos on this stuff if you haven't seen them. But I want to show this. And we've done a video on this earlier on the channel. But we all know this website, Sketchfab. We know that you can download a 3D digital asset. It might not be officially licensed, but I mean, this to me is a very cool looking Iron Man that looks officially licensed. And the fact that you can download it, sure, but this is not the only thing now. This is a website with providing you these 3D assets that you're able to download for a fee, which we don't know if officially licensed companies will end up putting their stuff onto this website. Why do I say that? This is something here that I think is pretty incredible. Read the top there. Sketchfab is now part of Epic Games. Epic Games just did the deal with Disney, and it's not only that, like on this announcement where they have Sketchfab and Epic Games, the bottom of the article shows the other article about Disney and Epic Games doing their expansive world. So, I mean, if you're a dot connector, we connected the dots about how Cavernous will be able to jump in and do what they need to do with the Disneyverse if they decide to do it the right way. This is in black and white. You can see that it's leading into the other article on the article about Sketchfab being around. So, I mean, this is going to be a big deal.
It is. It's a massive deal because it's all starting to make sense. Like Epic Games now bought Sketchfab for a reason, and we know Epic Games from the discussion from Tim Sweeney that they're not really super pro NFTs. Like they're not. They try to stay away from them, and they really do stick to digital assets. That's what they know. That's what they've sold. Digital assets that are not owned through a blockchain system. They're just digital assets for their internal games. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to at least at first take that approach. I don't really know how the NFT games are going to come into this other than just a gate. Maybe just allow certain projects to get in through gating. But even then, I'm not convinced that, you see people online, like they're just like completely convinced on the best case scenario. I think you have to just take a step back and just look at a bird's eye view with Epic Games owning Sketchfab. Sketchfab's not really an NFT project. It's a 3D collectible project. You got Disney now buying Epic Games. Like it's all starting to make sense down a path in which you don't necessarily need to have NFT ownership in order to enjoy utility on this massive platform. In which, if you look at Fortnite, 500 million people are playing with avatars and buying skins, and they're not owning anything, and they don't care. There's 500 million of them.
Yeah, they care to play the games, and I understood the initial argument that Sketchfab maybe not officially licensed, but now you got Epic owning Sketchfab and having that tie to Disney. What's to stop Disney from dropping things on Sketchfab? And then what happens? Like does the NFT technology has to mean something, and that's why Rob and I say every single day you need utility. You need utility because if they drop 3D collectibles that are not tied to the blockchain that people don't care about, then it's not going to matter if they can do the same thing with these other ones, and it could be cooler experience, and they can go play games and they can do all the same stuff. Like it has to be something there, or at least the metaverse that they do build with Cavernous has to be something incredible that people want to be up of. And maybe in that metaverse, you can only use NFTs, which would be like bullish case scenario that we want to see. But as we move on through this space, all right, as we move through this space, we mentioned many times, VeVe had the early mover advantage. They really had to take advantage of that. They had to bring in the masses. They had to make people fall in love with their product before the Vision Pro came. We did videos on this before all of this stuff comes. Now the masses are catching up to the space, but now they're going to find out what they like the best, and then they have options. That's why we really were pushing for this utility stuff and all that stuff last year when they were the only game in town, right?
2024 will be a very important year. I think we saw between 2023 and 2024 a lot of changes in the space, a lot more players in space. I think you're going to see a lot of development in 2024, and a lot of the players are going to get really, really, more competitive. I think at this point, nobody can say that VeVe is the king in particular. They still have, I think, the best breadth of IP. But we'll see at the end of this year how that landscape looks. There's other projects now that have Disney. So I think, like, because this is a VeVe video, I think, and it is mainly the VeVe fan that likes to debate us on this. If you honestly believe that AR is the utility that is like the be all end all, then you're gonna learn that you're gonna be mistaken in the future, because AR projection is not really going to be a utility. Like the technology's already caught up. There's plenty of that already exists. You need to have unique utility. If you're a third party provider, okay, who's not the licensor themselves, like VeVe, you have to want, and you guys should demand this on the VeVe team. Like let them hear you. Like we do these videos, and we hope, and we know that they do watch from time to time. So we hope that our message gets across that utility should be a driving objective of every single third party company. You cannot just rely on, I can project AR in the future. What else can you do to help you stand out when there's 100 companies that all have officially licensed stuff that can all project stuff in AR, or even 100 companies that all have games with the same, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to get crowded, and a lot of people are going to do the same things. Question is, how can you provide utility that will make you stand out in the crowd?
And I think a great example of why utility trumps is the Pudgy Penguin project. Go look at that. Over 20 ETH for a picture, because that picture lets you have access to a whole bunch of stuff, or else it wouldn't be up there. So that proves to you, whoever's saying holding something because it's the something, that's not been proven yet. Like, there's things that are like a couple $1,000s on VeVe. You got Pudgy Penguins that are 50,000. Okay, we're talking like floor. Okay, so that's what we got to start to look at. Utility matters. Don't tell me it doesn't matter. And that's all I'm going to say there. I mean, we can debate you all day on it, but at the end of the day, we have all of these videos, all of these facts that we've brought into your attention. Now it's up to you guys. Like Rob said, demand it. Ask for some utility for your stuff, for collecting, for holding, all that stuff. MCP's up, great start. But let's see what we can do with the metaverse. Let's see how we can tie it into the Disneyverse, and let's push for the Veveverse to be the #1 metaverse that ties to Epic Games and all that stuff.
Yeah. So guys, let us know in the comments below all your thoughts. We'd love to hear more about what your thoughts are on this. And we read every comment. We don't always respond to them, but we definitely want to hear from you. So let us know in the comments below. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash subscribe button, enjoy the Superstar fam, hit the bell notification to get every single video every single day. Also, the Superstar VIPs, $200 a month, Star Wars Name Master spreadsheets, giveaways. Guys, thank you so much. Take care, and we will see you next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.